Hey everyone, welcome to Ghost Prime Transformers Reviews. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Walmart exclusive War For Cybertron Trilogy Netflix Soundwave. Now, this is a retool of the Siege Soundwave that we got about a year ago. And there's a lot of retooling that went on this Soundwave, and this Soundwave actually turns into a micro cassette player, which I have been waiting for in a main line. I'm sure most of you have been. Now, we did get the Masterpiece version that turned into a cassette player, but that's really the only one we've gotten since the 80s, as far as I'm aware. I have been waiting for one of these to actually come in, and this guy doesn't disappoint. He's really good. He's every bit as good as the Siege. He does not have that scuffing that really was an eyesore on the Siege version, but he does retain all the same articulation. And he has a new mode, and so with that, they have to retool some of the pieces. Like the legs are retooled, the head is exactly the same, the upper arms are retooled, the lower arms are the same. It's just kind of weird, which I'll get into when I get closer. And this is the one I've been waiting for, not what I said in my Siege review. So, without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, first we'll start with the packaging. So, he comes in a Netflix-inspired box, which has the red outlines and white War For Cybertron Trilogy here, the name of the character there, a big window so you can see everything that comes in the box. On the side here, you have Soundwave in his robot form, and done in a black and white with a Decepticon logo here that looks like it's phasing in and out. Netflix logo at the top. And then on the back, you have what comes in the contents with some rendered graphics here. Soundwave in both his micro cassette player mode and his robot mode, and you have Ravage and Laserbeak there. On the side here, you have a black, white, and red War For Cybertron Earthrise logo. On the top, you have the Autobot logo and Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. And the box is just red and has some legal things. Now, this came in a soft pack, which is really annoying because I do have some damage. The box, you can see it right there. This was crushed on the side. I tried to straighten it out as best as possible. You can see it right there. And actually, a little bit on the inside was crushed as well. So actually, we can just look at the inside. Right there, it has the same image as this with a massive white Decepticon logo. And inside, you do get a instruction booklet, purple, black, and white. That shows how to transform it, which is fairly simple. Transform the included tapes as well. And packaged with the figure, you do get his weapon. It's a handgun, I guess. They could fold up like that. It shows on the back of the box. It also unfolds to be a much longer weapon. Let's see if we could stop. There you go. The Siege Soundwave came in the same one. Same with his handheld weapon that pokes out like this. It holds like that. So as you can see, no paint on it whatsoever. It's just done in blue and a sort of silverish gray plastic. And packaged in cassette mode, you do get Laserbeak and Ravage. Now Ravage has more of a Generation 1 style tape to him, so they put paint there to make what looks to be a cassette tape with the holes there, where there's no actual holes. And let's see if we get real close in there. It actually says Japan under there, like the Generation 1. And it has this, which I totally am spacing on what that stands for. But the Decepticon logo shows up. Really cool how he actually looks like a cassette there. I do like that. Of course, the robot himself. Now, I didn't list this piece as an accessory is because it actually, while being an accessory, comes off in it actually comes on him in the package. And looking at the figure here, all in his robot mode, he looks very cool. Very, very cool. He has a bright yellow for the chest, gold marks on the side. Lots of detail all over. He does have a faux button piece. That's on the front. So he does have buttons on the front and back of him. Let's get a little closer. If I could get real close. Let's get the light in there. So as you could see, he has red red light piping that actually works really nicely. I could put my light in there. There we go. Look at that. It looks beautiful. Beautiful deep red color. I'm getting in closer here. You can see the Decepticon logo on the chest. The chest done in yellow. Now I wish they did this in a gold. I liked how they did the gold on the Siege, but I really wish they did that in a gold to match these pieces on the side here, which are done in gold. Now these pieces here could have a little bit more color. This whole top part is new, very Generation 1 theme, and I wish that they did have a little bit more color on that. Now this piece here, and the hands are all the original from the Siege. As you can see, it has all the Siege detailing on it. And it even retains this piece, which is the landing gear for the Siege. And I don't know why they left that there. They could have easily just taken that off and retooled a little bit of it. It was completely unnecessary. I guess if you have the mold, just use it. It saves on cost. But he has new shins here, a new cod piece right there, new thigh pieces, new shin pieces here. The feet are the same as the Siege. The side is new, so is the back. And the whole main torso portion is new. And they did a lot of detail on the back of this guy. Just a lot of detail. Look at that detail work. So the tooling on this is really good. And I'm really happy to see some really nice tooling on Soundwave. Definitely needed, for sure. So accessory-wise, as stated, he does come with this piece here. Now this piece is a little different than the Siege, as it is a slightly different color plastic. And then it's a little blurry. There we go. See, it's a darker plastic than the Siege version. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. And that, as shown on the back of the packaging, could fold up and fit in his hand. Kind of like he's wielding a handgun. It's okay. I don't know where that comes from, but it's okay. And this piece, as I showed earlier, put the missile out, does go in his hand. You can arm him up like that. The button does function, like on the Siege version. And you could put one of the cassettes in there and close up. And he looks really great. Absolutely adore that. So just getting into a little bit of articulation right now. He has 360 at the waist. His arms could go all the way out like this on his shoulders. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow here and here, so he could actually go a little further than this. Take this out, he could go all the way up like so. Which is nice because that's actually not for transformation, that's strictly for posing. Legs could go pretty far. He could do a huge, huge kick. His knees go back. He has a thigh swivel, front this way, back not quite as far, but then you can put the flap up so you get some more movement there. His knees don't really go in the front without transformation, but they do definitely go back. They slip a little to the front, so you kind of get that weird forward knee bend standing pose like a lot of Transformer pictures depict. It's sort of weird to me. His feet have the rocker, same as Siege. Nope, it is super tight joints on this guy. His hands do not, they go like this and this, but they do not spin. His head is on a ball joint, so you can look up and down. A little slightly inquisitive, and of course turn 360. So overall, pretty damn good posability on this guy. Before we get into transformation, let's do some comparisons. And to start out, here he is with the Siege version of Soundwave. So let's get in a little closer here. Both of them have the light piping, which is very cool. And this one has the gold around. See, this chest piece is exactly the same between them. This one just doesn't, it's clean and doesn't have any of the scuffing marks that this one has. It does have gold around it, where this one has yellow. This whole chest piece that it sits in is completely retooled. The little thighs are retooled. As you can see, the differences here on what's retooled and what's not. He doesn't have this backpack piece. He also doesn't have these red pieces here. The red paint, which I wish that this one did have. And as you can notice, also on the top here, he doesn't have the red paint on his barrel at all, or the gun. So that is a shame. However, looks pretty good. They both retain that beautiful head sculpt from that's reminiscent of the Masterpiece version. Overall, though, nice clean look on Earthrise, I guess Netflix Soundwave. And here he is with Earthrise Megatron, so you get an idea of scale. And here he is with Masterpiece Soundwave. So you can see he has the same head as I went over on the Siege. They look a lot alike. This one takes a lot from this, including the gold here, and it just really takes a lot from him, which it should, because this is a beautiful Soundwave. But they look really nice together. Definitely, this is like almost like a mini Masterpiece. You can see how they all kind of stack up on the back. Finally, here he is with Generation 1, the 1985 version of Soundwave. Just so you get an idea. So you can see the yellow eyes, and he has the red eyes like in the cartoon. I'm glad they went with the red eyes. All right, getting back in close, let's go into transformation here. First, we're going to take out the weapons just so they don't get in the way. This one really you could kind of leave on, if you like, if you so desire. So the first thing we're going to do here is just put his hands away. Just fold his hands right up into his arms there. And then you take this back piece, pull that out. His head is on this little place here, and it just folds right around. That's exactly like the Siege. That clips in like that. You take his waist, turn him all the way around 180. Then I'm going to put his arms up and get them out of the way for a second. Take his... So what you want to do is take the back pieces that open up like this, and they come out and they have a little flap open, just like the Siege. Let's go like that. Take his feet, move his foot back in there. This goes up and over, around the foot, and snaps right in there. Same with the other foot here. That, push in, up a little bit, around and in. Might need a little bit of coaxing, mine does. Lift this up, and you see two little panels here. You want to move these panels out and around, like that. Now what we're going to want to do is turn them around, take the arms, and back here, you can see these little notches on either side. And if you notice on the back of his arm here is a little tab, and those go into there, snapping that in place. What you want to do is move these part of his arms like this, because we'll be putting his arms all the way around. And then like that, and then you can see right, if you get the light in there, kind of see how it just goes like that, and flush against it like so. Keep that straight down like this, and you want to do that twice, because what there is also on this piece right here, there is a slot and a tab, and those tab together. So you just kind of do this, push that in, take these two pieces, tab them together like so, and you have the back. So you turn back around, take his feet, turn his thighs, so exposing the inner thighs, which is the front of the tape deck. Move them up like you would in Generation 1 Soundwave, and now there is a slot right there. This part, over time, could actually really scratch up this gold paint there. So, but it slots in like this. You take it and just slots in. And And that does that for both sides. Take it and slot it in. Kind of press it together. Now, here you see two little tabs here, and then there's slots up on the top. And to take that, push those pieces in. Mine doesn't like to stay flush down on this side of the foot. And there you have the micro cassette player. Now, one thing that people have noticed is you kind of see through it right here, which is a bummer. It's not super bad in person or if you have really bright light behind it. So it's not that much of an issue, but you absolutely can see right through it. Like if you have a light color with the light shining on it, then with the right angle, it'll look kind of weird. Overall, it looks kind of like this, which isn't super terrible. One of the other things that mine came scratched the hell up on the foot right there, which is kind of annoying. It's not too bad. Like if I point it out, you notice it, but if you're just sitting back here, it's not super noticeable, so it's all right, and it's not noticeable in robot mode at all, but that is irritating. Now, turn him around. He does have a little bit of stuff sticking off the back. His arms don't really go anywhere. And there is weapon storage, so you could store his weapons either on his, stay together, either on his little pegs here and one here, or here, however you want to put it on. You could put one in the back. You could have his, what this is originally is actually a microphone. And so that's why it stayed on there in cassette mode, because that's technically a microphone for the micro cassette recorder. You can take his other weapon and stick it right there. And this thing, just put really anywhere. It doesn't really matter. It just kind of sticks on. So he kind of has everything there and a tape in the deck, which opens up. So he does look very cool. I do wish that these pieces here were the same silver paint. They're done actually like a softer plastic. Maybe that's why, but as you can see, it's really different. On the back of the box, it shows this all being silver, and it does stick out a little bit. So that is something that I would prefer to have seen something maybe a little different. And this could have been done in blue, but that's getting nitpicky. All right, so starting out here, we're going to do some comparisons of Laserbeak from him and the Siege version. So besides the paint detail, which you can't tell here, he does have a different head, which I'll show after the transformation. And so there are some differences. There's a lot of differences in the wings. Now the paint on the wings on the Netflix version is very nice, and get up real close in there and look at the details so you can see the differences. So done really nice. A lot of little paint work, different colors in there that really bring out those wings. I really particularly like the silver outline around it. So for this guy, transformation is just exactly the same as the Siege. Open up the wings. His joints are actually really tight. And I moved this up so I could just break it right off. It's okay, it just tabs right in. Like that. Don't worry. I try to get the head out with it because my fingers are huge and this head is so tiny. What I end up having to do is take this and push something on the other side through it. So there. Get his head out. Then take his feet, put them around like so, and then his, I guess, backpack weapon piece. And you have Laserbeak. I'm going to roll close. He does have a new head sculpt, which actually has a Decepticon logo on it. If I could, then my camera decides to get that in focus. Painted eyes, Decepticon logo. Very, very G1. Very cool. All right, here we have Ravage compared to his Siege version. So you see the paintwork is very different on the front. On the back, it's exactly the same. Now transformation is also the same with this guy as he is on the Siege version. And so what you want to do is you want to start out with opening the legs, getting the legs out of the way. Kind of joints very tight. I can't do it without breaking it. Move these down, just kind of get these out of the way. And then move kind of like this. So this piece, this whole piece here, I really don't, I'm afraid that this thing scares me. The joints on this are so tight that it just scares me. I'm gonna rip some pieces off of it. So move that out like that. And then we can just take the legs for right now. Let's do this, keep them like that. Take this piece right here, which is the handle for the connecting as a shield, and the head, complete with gold painted eyes. Move that out, front legs go down, like this. These come down and around, and the leg pulls out. Do the same thing with both sides, exposing the missiles right here. And if I get my big ass fingers, there we go, in there and get that leg out. And there he is. Not the best Ravage in my opinion. I think I mentioned that last time in my review of these guys, but still really nice figure to have. Moving close up on these guys, let's take a look at them versus their Siege version. So here is Ravage, Siege versus Earthrise. I do like how the Siege has the top of the leg painted silver, where this doesn't. It just wouldn't have worked with the tape. I get it, I understand. The gold eye is very Generation 1, which is very nice. I do appreciate the callback. Otherwise, same figure. Here is Laserbeak, which obviously has the largest change. If I can even get these in focus, because these are just very difficult. They have a very different head. Now this head, it was from the very first episode of Transformers. And this is his Earth form right there. Once they got to Earth, he had a bird head. Otherwise, the figure's predominantly the same. His Decepticon logo is on the back, where his has been removed from there and placed on the head. Otherwise, just the same. He actually looks very much like the Masterpiece version with that head. The head sculpt is very much the same, which both represent the Earth version of him in the cartoon. Okay, and here Soundwave is to compare him with the Siege Soundwave. Very, very different transformation. There you go. Very different transformation. Here he is with his Generation 1 self. You can see how these two compare. This one being much more bulky, but retaining visually similar aesthetics. There, just to make that a little more clear. There we go. So yeah, this one maybe could use a little bit of toy hacks to get some of these pieces on there, but not necessary. I might do it if they came out, and you know they're gonna come out with a set. So overall, he is a really nice Generation 1 version of Soundwave, and one we have waited for a long time. I really, really, really like this guy. So overall, he's really good. He has done very well. There are a couple little things that I do kind of miss from the Siege version, like the red around the barrels here, red around his arms. I kind of understand why they did it. But I would like that color. Maybe we could get some stickers for it. This could have been colored, and maybe these little buttons here could be colored. Little things here and there. Overall, it's very nitpicky, with the exception of these little pieces that pop out on his actual cassette buttons. These I would have liked to have been silver so they match. Those are a little bit of an eyesore for me. It's not too bad, but once you notice it, it really sticks out. It's one of those things. Overall, I would say he is very good. And definitely worthy of to put in your collection and to replace that Siege Soundwave. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of Siege Soundwaves on the secondary market. I do like how he has the red eyes. Still don't know why he comes with that fold-out handheld weapon. That's just going to go to my Earthrise Megatron at this point because my Siege has the other one. Don't get it. Don't need it. Doesn't matter. But definitely pick this up if you happen to see it. So if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs down button if you have to. Ring the bell for notification. Subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.